Good morning. We're starting week 3 of our daily staying rooted time together. And as I said when we started, this is as much for me a benefit as it is for you, probably more so. It's a daily reminder for me on each weekday, Monday through Friday, of where I need to stay anchored in order to make sense of the world around us. Now, I have, like many of you, a Christian worldview, a way of looking at the world through a biblical lens that provides some perspective. And so I know in my head the answers to many of the questions that we're all struggling with. And yet, experientially, if I'm not daily staying rooted in the pages of eternal truth in the Bible, then it's easy for me to wander, to doubt, at least subconsciously, the things that I know to be true. And so what we've been doing during this time is two things. First, we've been looking at the Psalms, and for that, I've just been sort of devotionally following along with the Psalms that my daily listening is highlighting. I use an app, a podcast app, to listen to a daily reading of the Bible. And through the year, they will go through the Psalms. And so each day I listen to a different Psalm. That's in addition to the actual physical reading I do, but listening is helpful for me. So all we've been doing is just sort of highlighting a couple of Psalms or the Psalm of the day. The other thing that we've been doing periodically is going back to the writings of John Newton, and we'll get back to him more this week. But today, what I want us to do to start our week is to catch up on the Psalms from the weekend, and that was Psalms 80, 81, and 82. Now, just two quick thoughts to start your week. From Psalm 82, it starts like this. It says, God has taken his place in the divine council. In the midst of the gods, he holds judgment. So in the midst of the gods, it doesn't mean that God is acknowledging that there are other true gods. There is only one true God. But in the pantheon of all the world's beliefs and of all the world's philosophies, there is one God who rules over everything else. And God, as he takes his place in the divine council, in this sort of metaphorical place of judgment, this is what God speaks to his people Israel. He says, "How long will you judge unjustly and show partiality to the wicked?" Now, that's maybe not a question that God is asking to his church, at least his church broadly at the moment. But I want you to listen to what comes next. The command that God gives, the thing that he's angry about with his people. He says, "Give justice to the weak and the fatherless. Maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute. Rescue the weak and the needy. Deliver them from the hand of the wicked." Now, I think at this particular moment, there is great encouragement that we can get from many aspects of the church, from many aspects of our society, whether they acknowledge God or not, that we're doing exactly this, or at least trying to best we can, trying to protect the weak, trying to maintain the rights of the afflicted and the destitute, trying to seek out those who are in need and those who need deliverance and the weak and help them. And yet, I think it is important for us to remember the command in the midst of the struggle that this is exactly what God wants us to do. To look for those who are weak, to look for those who are needy, to reach out our hands and to rescue them. Now, the struggle, of course, comes that in our own strength, this is really, really hard. And all you need to do is look at those who are on the front lines of this work right now, battling this COVID-19. The police officers, the firefighters, the EMS workers, the hospital employees, doctors and nurses, and those who are doing testing, and those who are working in government around the clock, often at great risk to themselves. Those are the folks, along with all of our businesses that are essential services, those people who are manning the grocery stores and the pharmacies, those people who are delivering goods and services, whether it's through driving a UPS or a FedEx truck or working in a warehouse, all of those folks on the front lines, those are the ones that need our support and our encouragement, but they can grow weary. So they're given the command to maintain the right of the afflicted and the destitute, to rescue the weak. But that can be tiresome. And that's when I go back to Psalm 80, which is a prayer for the God of Israel to restore us in our weakness. Psalm 80 is one of those psalms where there is a refrain, a line that it keeps going back to over and over again. And it's a pretty good refrain for us right now, a chorus that we can all be singing as we cry out to God. And we'll end with this. It says over and over again, 3 times in Psalm 180, it says, "Restore us, O God. Let your face shine that we may be saved." It says that in verse 3, verse 7, and verse 19. Let that be our prayer today. Restore us, O God. Let your face shine that we may be saved. Serve him and have a great day.